So my name's Matty and I'm a skateboarder artist, and I've created a business here in Coffs Harbour called Skate and Create. Skate and Create's an indoor skate park. Primarily we're teaching people how to skate at all different levels. I think one of the great things about skateboarding is it's a great way to not only learn cool skateboarding tricks and have fun, and be active, but it's also a great way to learn life skills. Skills that skateboarding can show you, but you can take that with you in your life and apply it to areas of your life, whether that's your personal life or business, that sort of thing. So that's one of the things that I love about skateboarding, but also some of that is similar with art as well. And I think the creative process is similar for both skateboarding and art. And for me, the areas of my life that I've really enjoyed, that have really challenged me, that have been really fulfilling, and they've just stayed with me since I was a young person. And I feel like they'll stay with me long into my future as well. Skateboarding started for me in a place called Noble Park in Melbourne, which was the area which I grew up. Skateboarding in the mid-late 80s was everywhere around me. So around sort of like 87, I got the bug. I think all the kids in the neighbourhood were doing it. It was fluoro colours, it was Bones Brigade, it was big boards. People were skating ramps, but street skating had just started to emerge, and I think I just wanted a piece of it. And I think when I started, I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I was just following the big guys around. I kind of talked my parents into getting me my own skateboard for Christmas one year. And I still remember the negotiations because skateboards were, I guess, pretty expensive back then. But we were able to find like a medium quality board, which was good enough, but didn't cost the world because, you know, my parents didn't really think it was going to lead to anything. So I ended up with a Veriflex Gary Valentine street model, and funny, Gary never actually rode that skateboard. He's a vert skater, and I found that out later in life when I met him. But that was good enough for me to get me out and about with the other guys. And I think I just loved the freedom of just being able to get out of the house, skate down the street, and go on adventures.
That's right, yeah.
So I think those adventures developed from, you know, the local school and the local shopping centre, and, you know, maybe my friends' ramps, to starting to travel further into the city. Paran was the big spot in Melbourne at that time. There was a big vert ramp there, and there was a dish-shaped bowl, and that sort of was the mecca of skateboarding. And I just kind of hit it at a point when skateboarding was at its height. There was big demonstrations of skateboarding, big competitions happening. The American pros were coming to Australia. It was everywhere. And I kind of caught the tail end of that. And then something happened, and it just started to disappear. And it almost disappeared overnight. And people gave up. The guys I originally skated with all kind of started to fade out. And luckily I just started to reach out into the world a bit more, so I started to find the people who were still keen on it, build new friendships, and continue to do it through that down period. And that was sort of the early 90s. You know, we called it vert was dead era. And I think what we mean there was the ramps. You'd go to the ramp and no one was skating it. So we'd sort of drifted off into the streets, and it was the evolution, now looking back, of street skating. We were finding spots on a daily. We were, you know, seeing tricks on videos from America that we'd we'd never seen before, and we were going out there and we were practicing them, you know. So it was really exciting for a young teenager to be out in the world, dressing differently, acting differently, exploring and thinking about the world differently. I mean, we'd see, a curb and think, man, can we skate that?
Yeah.
We'd see a set of stairs, and that
Imagination
became
and
our
creativity,
playground.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Imagination and creativity was what was really bred in that, and I think that's the essence of skateboarding still. And as now we move, into it becoming a sport, this is the question. For some people, it's not a sport; it's a creative pursuit. And I think that's one of the great things about skateboarding is the breadth of it and what it can be for you. For me, it was very much freedom, and it was connectivity to the urban environment that I was growing up in, but also to a culture which was emerging, but also sort of just surviving through that period. And I think that was the period that really cemented me as a skateboarder looking back, because I think the people who were able to ride through that down period, I think some of those people are the people who've actually really created the Australian skateboarding community. They're the people who I look around, and they're the ones that are designing the skate parks. They're the ones with companies that are building the skate parks. They're the ones that have opened skate schools. They're the ones that are investing back in their community. They're the advocates for skateboarding. And I feel like that's the place where I've felt most comfortable, is in that sort of diplomatic role and that leadership role now in skateboarding. Just purely because I've seen the ups and the downs, and I've been on that journey in an unbroken way for a long time. So yeah, Melbourne was the mecca of skateboarding, as I said, through from the mid-'80s, and it still is today. There's a big industry there, which I became part of. I was lucky enough to work for a company called Force Industries, which was an interesting company that was a distributor of skate products. They were importing and selling them domestically, but they were also a manufacturer of snowboards. And we had a little factory in Paran, and we were making about 10 snowboards a week out of that factory, employing young guys that were interested in board riding. And we had a warehouse full of skateboards and skate shoes. So I became originally a team rider for those guys, a sponsored rider, and then I became the team manager, and then I became the brand manager, or the national sales and marketing manager. So I had a really nice journey with those guys, and it opened up lots of doors for me within the skate industry.
Connections and meeting people.
That's right. Connections to other people in the industry, to all the people who were running the shops around Australia, but also all those team riders that we were developing, and the guys who were already the pros and the sponsored skaters, and anybody who came to visit Melbourne, we ended up connecting with them. So it was the halcyon days for me of skateboarding that, and I think the industry back then was a little bit more innocent and a little bit more, it was smaller, it was more intimate, but still it was very political. Skateboarding has always had this political angle, and there's always been people on the sidelines kind of doing that talking, which I've never really found it helpful. I think it's detrimental, but I kind of found a place in there where I felt like I was able to bring people together, develop new talent, and again, advocate for skateboarding to be a community and a brotherhood and a sisterhood now of like-minded people doing something that we all love. So, but after a while, I guess I had a change in my life, and with family, personal stuff, and it gave me the opportunity to change direction. And I had probably something that's been a pivotal turning point in my life where I got an opportunity to move to Alice Springs to work with young Aboriginal boys in a sporting program as a coach. And one of the things that they liked about me was my work that I'd done in skateboarding. And I think for me, I kind of needed a break from the industry and everything. And I kind of felt like I'd done as much as I could do in that area as well at that time.
Why Alice Springs? Why would that be? Obviously, it must be so different, you know, to see what was happening in Melbourne and then moving up to quite a remote area as well.
Absolutely. Probably one of the most remote areas in the world. And it was, you know, a total life change. I went from living in Fitzroy in Melbourne, inner city Melbourne, to the middle of the outback. And it was just that the program was there, the opportunity was there, and you know, life's a funny thing. Sometimes you get these chances and I don't know, it just felt like the right thing to do at the time and I never looked back. I ended up living in Alice for 10 years. I ended up falling in love with the place and I think I found something there that helped me grow as a person. And I think in Alice, I really discovered community at a different level. I think within skateboarding there was community, but it was within a culture, whereas I think Alice had broadened me out. And I think it showed me that community exists and it can cut through different cultures and everyone can be doing their different thing, but we can all come together and find that common ground. So I think Alice did that for me. And so I got very involved in the arts community in Alice Springs, and that's through visual arts and performing arts. And I also was involved in sport, in football. I got involved in the media as well in Alice. Lots of different things. But I ended up I saw the opportunity to, and I created the first skate school in the Northern Territory with the help of Skateboarding Australia, which were backed by Skate Australia at the time. And that opportunity, I guess, is now pivotal to what I'm doing today. But I started that back then, and I also started a small skate shop as well. So we grew the community in Alice through this skateboard hub or skateboard school. I started running grassroots skate comps and just jams and just get-togethers basically. We started teaching kids how to do it, and then that led to a shop. And then I guess after 10 years, again, life had changed, new opportunities, and I started looking for the next place to live.
So a lot of changes for sure on that journey, you know, big moves, and yeah, it's almost like you had to restart a couple of times from scratch and find your place again to be able to flourish. And then
yeah, I think with change, it's something that I've become comfortable with. Change for me is part of growth, and I think as a skateboarder, again, this life skill stuff that we get out of skateboarding is, I mean, if you're just doing the same trick over and over, you know, skateboarding gets boring. And for me, like in life, if I'm just doing the same job over and over, you know, I get sick of it. And I've never wanted to have a life where I'm bored. I've wanted my life to be as exciting as possible. And I feel like I want to sort of squeeze every last drop out of each day. So I guess change I just looked at like learning a new skateboarding trick. So the process of how I did that. So I had a vision of what I wanted, and I travelled the east coast of Australia looking for somewhere to live and not knowing what was out there and what places looked and felt like. There was something about Coffs Harbour that kept on calling me back, and it was the opportunity to develop skateboarding here. There was nothing happening with skateboarding when I was here travelling through in 2014, apart from that there'd been a new skate park built, but there wasn't a community around that park, it was very scarce.
Right. Is it the one near Coles? Is it the one in Central Coffs? Yeah. Okay.
So that was the game changer for Coffs Harbour, because Coffs had always struggled with having the right facilities. They'd had an old skate park. Well, I think they'd originally had a big skate park way back in the day, and then that had got demolished, and then they'd had a very inadequate skate park which hadn't really fostered a huge or sustained a huge community. It had a small community around it. So I saw a great opportunity to come in and lead that change. And you know, 10 years later, we've got thousands of people skateboarding. I mean, my business alone has had thousands of people through the door, teaching kids, adults, everyone how to skate. And you know, now we've got, I wouldn't say it's a thriving community, but we've got a growing skate community. There's still a lot more work that can be done here, but certainly I feel like I've achieved everything that I wanted to achieve so far, and I'm now at a point of diversifying my business and my dreams and goals to continue to grow the culture of skateboarding here, and also developing the art side of the business as well.
Yeah, and that's comes to events. You've been doing a lot of events within your skate park and within the shop, trying to get people together. Is there anything that's coming up, or is there anything that's happening currently that you're working on that you think will definitely create impact on the community and will get people together even more?
Yeah, so yeah, we've been sort of developing a couple of different events that happen each year. So this year we've had Skate Festival, so the Skate and Create Festival, we've called it. Now that was a bit more around music, art and skateboarding. So we're trying to use this space as like a space for like all ages gigs, and combining that with the action and excitement of skateboarding. And I think there's a real need for venues for young people, and Skate and Create can be that place for people. Sure, yeah. So I think that's an area that we're really looking at developing more. And then we have an annual skate competition. I kind of don't have a total focus on competitive skateboarding. I realise that it's a part of skateboarding, but I think with the advent of skateboarding at the Olympics, I feel like I'm a little bit concerned that that could be people's whole idea of what skateboarding is. And I really feel it like that would sell skateboarding short if we just get hyper-focused on winning. For sure. We are not a winning culture. I'll just say that again. Yeah. Skateboarding is not a winning culture. We are a creative culture. And I think if we can keep a lid on and a balance to how we deal with high performance skateboarding, or how much energy we put towards athletes, or those skateboarders that are starting to go into the sporting competitions, then I think we'll be able to maintain this amazing culture that we've created organically. Yes. And I suppose probably on that, it's, as somebody who's been on this, sort of 4-decade journey so far, is, we have come from being criminalised. Skateboarding skateboarders were kicked out of everywhere, and that still happens. If you travel around any town, you will see the signs. You will, if you talk to people, you will hear the stigma of what a skateboarder is. But then at the same time, we've got the image now that's been beamed around the world of skateboarders at the Olympics, and you know, the feedback that I keep hearing is, wow, geez, they were amazing. Not talking about the talent, but the way they interacted with each other, you know. And I think that's been really powerful, and I really like that side, that we've been able to demonstrate that we're not there to compete against each other, we're not there to beat each other, we're there to actually cheer each other on. And if that guy has, you know, if it's his day, he's going to win. Or if she's on it today and she's landing all her tricks, she's going to win. But if the event was, you know, a day later, it'd be another person. Because I think the energy of it is just some days it all comes together and some days it doesn't. And
Like everything in life.
like everything in life, you know. And I think if we start really trying to focus so much on harnessing performance and measuring success, that we're really gonna mess up this beautiful organic thing that we've created, and it's just growing so greatly. So I think when we can just stay focused on fun and creativity, then skateboarding will be in a really great place. So we do a skate competition. It's a grassroots competition. It's very much about, for most people, it's very much about life experience and them sort of, you know, having the experience of being in a competition. I'd love to be able to debrief with them afterwards about what went well, what didn't go well for them, and use it as an opportunity to learn and grow. And then, yeah, for others, it's a way of them to be able to demonstrate all the amazing skills that they have in an environment under a time pressure. So we do that once a year, and that's super fun. We also have been doing skate tours. We do skate camps here. So skate tours are where we go around different skate parks. We've filled the car up with a bunch of kids and we go out into the world and skate other places. Skate camps happen in school holidays, and that's where kids get to come in and spend the whole day here. They're just day camps. We haven't done any overnight camps yet, but yeah, and they get to experience it, and it's art and skating. We also just have kind of casual skate sessions that are not coached. We do things like birthday parties.
If I want to come in, let's say I want to come in and I know nothing about skateboarding, or I've never gone on a board before, I can come in here and learn the basics and, you know, try to, let's say, you know, learn a trick or try to balance on the board properly.
Totally. So if you were to walk in the door as a complete beginner, or I would pretty much assess where you're at through a quick conversation with you, with your skating. What I would recommend is to get a lesson straight up. The biggest thing for me is keeping people safe and trying to help them have as much enjoyment and feeling of success and feeling good about themselves at that very start, at that earliest stage possible. What I've realised is a lot of people have had negative experiences skateboarding, and when you analyse why, it's the same couple of things. You were ill-prepared, you started at the top rather than at the bottom, and you just didn't have the knowledge of what to do and how to approach it. So skateboards don't come with a instruction manual.
Sure.
So effectively, places like this are now your instruction manual. But what we need to do is we need to give each individual feedback. We need to give them some direction of where to put your feet, how to approach the board, and we need to build your balance and your confidence first. Everyone starts there. No one comes in and just gets this thing.
Yes.
I've seen people who've got really good balance and confidence, but everybody starts pretty much at the start of this thing, and however much time and work and effort they put in, that's what they'll get back out of it. But yeah, certainly, you know, if you wanted to come in, we would start you at the start, and then as you progress, we just, you know, keep dialing up the challenges, and we keep mixing up the feedback so that you can go on your own learning journey with it, and where you want to take it is up to you.
And adults, kids, any ages.
Yeah, so basically we've got programs for 2-year-olds all the way up to currently my eldest student's 68.
Wow, big.
So I feel like skateboarding's for everyone, and it's just where you're at on the journey. Yeah, yeah. We have so much fun here, you know, and it's...
That's what it is. It's just, yeah, having fun and being creative and enjoying yourself.
Some of those adult classes are the funniest because people are experiencing things that they didn't think that they could do, and we get people skating really good, really quickly. And I love being able to do that for people because, like, I kind of know sometimes what they're capable of more than what they are.
Right.
And so that's just been experience, and and I love being able to help them bring that out of themselves and realise that.
It'd be so satisfying when that happens as well.
It's really satisfying, and it's really nice to awaken that in people. So yeah, the narrative around skateboarding is that it's really hard and it's only for certain people, and it can be hard, and yeah, I mean, you know, there's...
But that's like everything in life, you know, if you're learning something from scratch or trying to progress, it's meant to be hard.
That's right, yeah, it is. But it isn't, it's a lot easier than people think if you approach the skateboard in the right way. So yeah, we've developed our own method here of teaching and learning. It's something that's constantly evolving as well. I am still learning myself, and I won't ever stop. So I just keep evolving that. But basically, some of the things that I wanted to bring into that method were consistent language. I want people to be able to come here and know what they're coming to. So once they've experienced it, the next week they come and it's the same. And we can build on that. I want it to be logical so that, and I want the information to be in bite-sized chunks, not long-winded, complex explanations. Step 1, 2, 3. So I've done a lot of thinking and designing around how that works, a lot of trial and error, and as I said, constant adjustments. But I feel like we've got a very good method of teaching people how to do the different skills in 3 steps. And you follow those 3 steps, and that might be about body alignment, it might be about posture, it might be about foot placement, and you do those 3 things, you will get that trick or that maneuver or that skill. Right. So that's kind of my method, and I've taken learning from my own personal experiences with dance, with other sports like golf that are very technical based. There's a lot that I pull from golf, surfing, yoga, all those kind of life experiences that I've had in different, they've contributed to this method, and it seems to work. We fast track people. We've had kids and parents that can't believe at the end of 1 session where they got to, or at the end of 4 sessions, or at the end of a 16-week season. The kid could be totally transformed from someone who was scared to skateboard into somebody who is confidently skateboarding. So that then has other ripple effects that can help them in life. All of a sudden they're walking taller.
So it's their mindset that they have towards skateboarding that they can then use in, you know, every day, in a difficult situation in a day or in life, or something that they're dealing with.
Definitely. We have a lot of kids that are neurodiverse kids. So we have a lot that come along and they're either diagnosed or undiagnosed. But I've had parents say to me that it's been totally transformational, not only for their child, but for their family. Because now the kid's got something that they can regulate themselves with. They can pick up that skateboard, go through that process and calm themselves.
Be in control perhaps of that one aspect in life that, yeah.
Yep, and get a real sense of worth, you know, and it's different for every person, you know, and our coaching method is different for every person. It's the same, but it's slightly adjusted. The structure's the same, but we adjust it, you know. And again, you know, this is the type of thing that I guess a school system would ideally do, but so many times we see that's, you know, we hear that that's falling short for people. I guess here that's one of the quality things that I'm trying to hold on to, is that we keep this business at a size where we can keep that quality service and that flexibility for everyone's individual learning style. The only other thing that I thought that I haven't weaved in was about the art, you know.
That's right, yeah.
And maybe, do you want me to get a skateboard? I've got a skateboard, maybe I could hold that here, or we could go back to...
Is it with the art?
With the art on it.
With the art on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, do it.
Maybe I'll grab that now.
100%.
And then, yeah. So yeah, these are a couple of skateboards that I've hand painted. So Free Range is a skateboard brand that I've come up with the idea that, you know, skateboard graphics have sort of done a full circle where I guess originally they were hand painted, then they became screen printed, now they're digitally printed, and they're basically like a sticker that gets transferred onto the board. You know, photo quality graphics, all that sort of stuff. It's amazing, it's great. Really easy, simple way to do it. But I kind of felt like there was an opportunity to go back to the start and do the hand painting thing. And it kind of works for me because it allows me to keep my art practice up and combine it with skateboarding. I've always had little skateboard businesses, and I kind of like that idea that there's these little businesses around. It's not these mega brands, you know. So yeah, so Free Range was born. This board here is actually my son's design. When he was 6 years old, he did this character, and I just started putting it on skateboard.
Lenny?
No, this one's Rafi. Rafi did this one, and yeah, and he gets a little commission out of it as well. So so it also shows the kids, you know, that one, you can do it yourself, and two, you can turn into a little business. So we also do workshops, skate deck painting workshops. They've been really popular. It was a great way for kids to be able to design their own board, make their own board, and I guess sort of be more a part of it. But also, it is a step away from brand culture, which again, I think, you know, creative culture in skateboarding, it helps keep it alive as well, because, you know, a lot of people who do design skateboards are skateboarders, which I think is really cool. You know, a lot of the graphic designers, so there is jobs in the industry, fashion industry as well. You know, so it's all good stuff. So we do that here. I'm also a mural artist as well, and you can see a little bit of artwork behind us. It's kind of, this space is still evolving with the art. We've only been here a year, so, but there is sort of some art scattered along the wall. Some of it's mine, and some of it's other artists that have been in, friends of mine. We've got some youth artists as well that do things too.
But you've done a little bit of art around town, around here as well, different occasions and different events.
Yeah, that's right. So I was a part of the All Walls Festival, which was a street art festival in Coffs Harbour last November, and yeah, I was able to produce a wall in an alleyway, work with other artists from around Australia. It was a really cool event. We'd like to do more of that stuff. Yeah, and I've got walls in the places where I've lived previously. So Woolgoolga, there's another wall that I've painted there. Alice Springs, there's a number of walls in Alice Springs.
Leaving your mark everywhere you go.
I actually have to go back to Melbourne and do some back in Melbourne, so that's a little plan that I've got. Yeah, the wall behind us, I'm going to be starting a mural on that today actually. So maybe when you come back and visit us, there'll be a new mural here which I've painted. So.
And in regards to any of the merchandise or any of the boards, you know, that you have painted here and that you have other people painting, can you purchase any of that stuff?
Yeah, so we have a shop as part of the facility here, and we also have an online shop as well.
And all through your website, you can.
That's right. Yeah, so through the website, or come and visit us in the shop. But certainly, yeah, t-shirts like this. We've got our merch.
And building skateboards for other people. That's it.
Yeah, we've got, we customise skateboards to all levels. So if you're, you know, advanced level skateboarder, we can, you know, make something. So yeah, we're very good at fitting the right board to the right person based on your ability, size, experience, that sort of thing.
Yeah. And in regards to, you know, if I'm arriving in Coffs Harbour for the first time and I'm looking for a place, or I'm looking for a little bit of information, what's the best way to get in touch, and what's the best way, you know, to find you guys? And yeah,
so yeah, we got a lot of people that are traveling through, heading north and south, that want to pop in and have a skate. The best way is just to send us a message on social media or through the website, so skateandcreate.com.au, or we're on Instagram and Facebook. Send us a message. You know, I'll let you know when there's a time that you can come down and skate. Yeah, if you're an advanced skater or a medium level skater, you know what you're doing. There's times that you can come in and skate this place and enjoy it as well. So yeah, reach out to us. If you're a traveling family, you know, we get a lot of those as well. Yeah, reach out to us.